Pisces January. Okay, Pisces, you have a few planets still in your sign. Neptune, your ruling planet, has been hanging out in your sign for a while. It's going to be there till spring. Saturn, the planet of restriction and hardship and long-term success, has also been hanging out in your sign, probably for so long you've gotten used to it, but it's going to bring intensity in, okay? Now this spring, these planets will step into Aries for a bit, and then they will retrograde back into Pisces. By the end of the year, you will be done with them in your sign, okay? So that'll be a little bit lighter energy for you. Now, Venus is in the sign of Pisces starting on January 2nd. So you're going to have Venus in the romantic sign of Pisces. I think I love that placement. It will be there until February 4th. Now, keep in mind that Venus is going to do its retrograde period. It doesn't do it very often. We didn't have any retrograde in 2024. But we start off 2025, well, in March. We'll start with a retrograde on March 1st, and it will last till April 12th. And the reason why I'm telling this to you, Pisces, is because Venus is going to be in Aries when it begins its retrograde, but then it's going to move back into your sign of Pisces, okay? So a lot of the themes that you see coming up right now in love, in your relationship with your finances and the things of value to you, any of your partnerships, because Venus rules partnerships, harmony, and it especially rules relationships with women because Venus is written as a symbol for women. But we do know that it also rules all relationships, okay? So we also have Mars that's written as a symbol of men in its retrograde period. So it's interesting times right now, kind of seeing the other side of things. Now, when Venus retrograde begins, it's going to begin at 10 degrees of Aries, okay? And it's going to move back. So basically Venus is moving along. It gets to March 1st and it starts moving backwards, and it's going to go backwards in degrees all the way to 24 degrees Pisces, okay? That's you. And then it will go direct on April 12th, and it'll come back over that same ground. So basically the whole month of April, you're going to be revisiting all of these themes. So it's a really good time for you to get a pen and paper out, start writing down what's been happening, because these themes are going to be revisited 3 times, okay? So pay attention, do a deep dive into feeling and see what's coming up, because by spring, we're all going to be feeling a shift. And I've talked about this a little bit when I was talking about the Mars retrograde. There's another video about that. There's also another video for the whole month of January that I encourage you to listen to. Interesting times, pay attention, write things down, observe, especially over this winter period, and get ready for forward movement in the spring, okay? Now, the north node of the moon, which is considered, I often call it the Dharma point or your soul's contract point. It's about what you came here to do. That's entering Pisces this month also. So you're going to have a lot of activity, Pisces. And, you know, I always think of like planets when you're looking at a chart and you see some planets in your sign, even if you don't know what they are, just think of them as like a pointer, that it's accentuated there. Okay, so there's more activity in the sign of Pisces, this karmic, watery, emotional sign, a sign of retreating. Okay, retreating. So we have to make sure that we're getting rest. And Pisces, you need to be resting. You need to be taking care of yourself because you're doing a lot of deep karmic cleanup with Neptune in your sign and also with Venus there. So you can be cleaning up a lot of old relationships, okay? Now, remember, you're trining Mars. Trining is a positive triangle, positive aspect with Mars that's retrograding in the sign of Cancer. Now, we've talked about Mars not really liking the sign of Cancer because Mars likes to move so fast, but it's a great time for a deep dive into healing. It's going to be trining you, okay? So make your caring for your emotions a priority. Keep rethinking your connections, especially through this Venus retrograde. Your ex may show up, or feelings about your ex may show up. Reflect on love, reflect on what's important to you. Now, We have a full Cancer moon this month, which will also be trining you, a positive aspect. And that's on January 13th. And so we're going to have themes of home and work in general, because Capricorn, the sun will be in Capricorn. Capricorn rules, work and family responsibilities, all your responsibilities and the things you're working towards long term. And then Cancer is like home life, nurturing, mother energy. So this is going to be a trine with you, and you're going to be able to find peace and balance, and also look at where you're over giving. Okay. Now, we also have a trine. You got a lot of, or I'm sorry, this is actually a square. You have a square with Mercury, the planet of communication, in the mutable sign of Sagittarius. You are a mutable sign, Pisces, so you make a square, a 90-degree angle. That's considered a little harsher aspect, okay? So you're going to want to watch your words really carefully, because Mercury rules conversation. It also rules delivery of information, deliveries in general, and it rules merchants. Now, that square will be going on until January 8th, so it will lighten up the rest of the month for you. Also, you have a square with Jupiter. That's been going on for over a year now, so that's kind of, you've almost adjusted to that. All right, so that's your astrology overview. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Now, I did a little pre-reading, and I love this first card. I know that the Ten of Swords is often considered a negative card, but this card reminds me of you, Pisces, so much, because there he is, all overstimulated with all these thoughts, right? All these swords in his back. Yeah, he's like, I'm cool, I'm good. He's like got peace fingers up here. And then there's also interesting that there's like coins all around him. Okay. So this could be, with the swords, it's all other people's, it's thoughts. But sometimes I think of the Ten of Swords as like being stabbed in the back, okay? But he's like, no, I'm good, I'm good. And then the coins are kind of just like falling all over him, okay? So Pisces, I know sometimes, I know you feel a lot and you don't always want to talk about it, but let's be honest here, okay? It's really hard to feel good with 10 swords in your back. So maybe it's time to be honest about how you're feeling. Now, the Four of Wands showed up. And this is a card, the hand fasting ceremony. And so this is a card of commitments. A lot of times Four of Wands shows like some kind of wedding, but this is showing partnership and commitment. And remember, I said that with this whole Venus retrograde and everything, your ex may be showing back up, or your old feelings about relationships that you've been in. Looks like maybe some of those thoughts have just been doing you in. Those are coming up to heal right now. Okay. And then we got the Sun card from the Pastoral Tarot, which is a beautiful card, really joyful. It's like childlike joy. It's really beautiful. It's also a card of exposure, because the sun shines and we can see clearly. So you may be able to get a new perspective on something that maybe a relationship that didn't work out too well. Maybe you felt stabbed in the back, but it's showing some clarity now so you can understand the bigger picture. All right. So that is your pre-reading. Now let's jump into a live reading here and see what you need to know this month. You have these cards yet? I'm working with the mystical melodies because I'm just really digging the mystical melodies lately. This vintage cartoon tarot deck. I also have the spellcasters here, which is one of my favorites. And it's a little intense, but it is a good one. And then we're going to lighten it up by throwing in one more pastoral tarot. That's just like French countryside. All right, let's see what we got here. Card number 1, you have the Nine of Pentacles. It's kind of a funny expression on the plant space. Nine of Pentacles is when all is well, okay? And sometimes there can even be a little boredom because everything's just like, okay. And although his face looks a little irritated. Nine of Pentacles. Let's see what else we've got going on here. We've got the Death card coming in, so we see some changes showing up, okay? Some endings and some new beginnings. This is Pluto energy. This is coming in right underneath what we referenced as your ex. Death card rules sex, so there could be a lot. It's almost like these cards read to me like Your ex sees that you're doing really good and thinks that they'd like to get a piece of that again. That's how this reads to me. Card number 3 is the 3 of Swords. And I love this version because it looks like a rotisserie chicken to me. And it's like on display for everyone to see. Okay, so this is like the old heartache. It did come in like this, which is almost like more visible. And so the old pain, but the old pain coming in under the Sun card, and you're going to be able to see it. It's interesting that it's all dark in the background there. But don't forget the reason that it ended, okay? Because it's definitely wants you to remember that. Here's the World card, which is a card of closure. It's the last major arcana. It's a card of success. She's celebrating. She's out there on that swing. She's feeling free. Okay, this is a Capricorn card. Interesting how there's like a picnic over here, but it just like looks like she's got her cat and her dog with her. So finding joy in your own storyline that maybe does not include this ex, but definitely knowing that it's going to come back up, or the feelings are going to come back up. But the World card shows me that you are on point, that you are in a good place about this, okay? And you're going to get some closure. All right, now we're going to pick a card for each week for the month of January using our cute little golden Art Nouveau tarot. We're going to pull one for each week here, seeing what you need to know, Pisces, this month of January. Week 1, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this is a card of luck and blessings and expansion, travel, but it's also a card of surrender. Okay, so the wheel's in motion. Some people call this the Wheel of Fate. Okay, we were talking about your ex, and sometimes we just need to learn these things. Sometimes that's part of the agreement we've made, is to learn these lessons. Now, week 2, the 3 of Cups has shown up, so it looks like a kind of party situation. Some people around you looking to have a good time. Week 2. Week 3, the Ace of Cups shows up. This is the cup of satisfaction. Remember, this is a very sensual card, so make good choices in regards to your relationships. Week 4, the 7 of Pentacles shows up, and he's kind of just waiting. There's a sense of waiting and tending to things. So maybe this person's coming in to tell you they changed. Maybe this person is coming in to tell you how much they missed you. But there's something here about waiting and letting them show you, if you even have interest, okay? You're building something here. All right. I'm just going to pull a couple more because I just want to make sure, because everything seems like it's about an ex. Is this on point here? The Chariot and the Ace of Swords. Okay. The Ace of Swords on him. He looks a little beat up. It looks like there was some tears flowing. Okay, but he's made the cut that tree. The tree's like, whoa, you cut me. Okay, so there is something, this is implying that this is not a relationship that works for you. Here's the Chariot, overcoming obstacles, moving forward. Okay, getting on, moving on. This is a Cancer card. You're going to have you have trines going on with the Mars in Cancer. You have trines going on with the full moon in Cancer. Shows you moving forward. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move these to the side, and I'm going to use the dice. Neptune in the sign of Sagittarius in the 3rd house. Neptune, your ruling planet, the planet of the great healer. Neptune rules illusion and delusion. Okay, so we definitely don't want to be making commitments when things aren't clear. Sagittarius is a freedom-seeking sign. It is the bigger picture, wants freedom for sure. And 3rd house is your environment, okay? 3rd house is the house of communication, but it also rules all the people around you. All right, so interesting role here. Almost like you could focus my attention on planning a trip, or focus my attention on some creative project or some spiritual healing project. And don't let your energy be robbed by people that don't deserve you. Okay. All right. Now, why am I'm picked up this deck like I'm going to pull you one more card. I just feel like I need one more. Ah, it's the Three of Cups again. Interesting, because I was wondering the first time it came up. It's almost like, because Neptune rules drugs and alcohol, and this is the second time the Three of Cups came up, showing a good time, but they're falling into the water. So be careful about like drinking with your ex, because your guard could go down and you could end up saying things that you didn't mean to say. Okay.